Hello, Coiners. My name is Mike Kayamori. I'm the co-founder, CEO of Quoine. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to my AMA. As you know, it's our 1 year anniversary after our cash ICO, and I haven't had an AMA for a while. So I've decided to do this recorded AMA. So we've asked for questions from our audience, and I think we've got 5 pages worth of questions, and I would like to go over each and every one of them. So let's start. So the first question, can you explain how you aim to improve withdrawal times while keeping security tight? While we appreciate Quoine taking security so seriously, traders can't operate like this. Thanks. So it's always a dilemma, right? So if it's fast to process withdrawals, if there's a potential hack, that means the hackers will get access to the withdrawals faster, right? So right now we do all full multi-sig cold storage for Bitcoin, and for others, everything is in cold wallet and cold storage. That said, for our global users, we are looking into a new solution, and we believe this is one of the best solutions out there, where it allows, it's a software based, so it's going to be a hybrid storage, where it will break a single key into multiple keys. So there's not going to be one single key that will be vulnerable. And with that, we will be able to process withdrawals as many times as we want, even on the weekends and daily as well. Then it will become a policy between how do we want to process withdrawals, but we understand the utility element and also the security element. So we will always balance between the trade-off between security and convenience, but hopefully by end of the year, we'll have a new hybrid wallet solution so that we can process withdrawals multiple times a day or near real time. Okay? So second question, about the partnership with Gemini. Is there any background of a potential ETF? Also, if we list stable coins of other exchanges, does it conflict with the utility of cash? So we've made an announcement with Gemini. So Gemini has always been a connected exchange partner. So from a World Book perspective as well, when we need, we bring volume, they provide liquidity. So it's a partnership that we have. The GUSD, the Gemini USD, we're excited of launching that as well. We'll be working on the GJPY at the same time. Regarding the ETFs, like crypto ETFs, Bitcoin ETFs that Gemini has been working with the SEC, that will be like a securities product. So we are currently applying for a similar like capital market license in Singapore. So when we have that, hopefully we will be able, as part of that license, we will be able to offer ETFs. So it's not only going to be crypto ETFs, we'll be able to offer hundreds of ETFs, and we're going to allow people to use our cash token or crypto to buy those ETFs as well. So it's exciting times. Regarding the conflict of interest, potentially, I don't see any of that. The beauty of crypto and blockchain is it's open. It's decentralized, it's distributed. So as our policy and what we believe in is an open financial system. If there's interesting stable coins out there, as long as those stable coins are properly regulated and licensed, we are very much open to offer those on our exchange. The more types of products that we offer, I think it's the merrier to coiners. So there's no such thing as conflict with our cash token, and we believe there's actually more synergies by doing that as well. Next question, can we expect more granular and incremental updates from the team on how the Liquid platform and the LDL blockchain are progressing? Trust and transparency is a huge part of those of us in the community that supports this project. A greater number of incremental updates would be awesome to see. We take that to heart. I think the important thing, we too believe that the most important thing of blockchain is that it allows more transparency. It brings trust openly, and that's something we continue to strive for. It probably links to the next question, so I'm going to read the next question and then answer it together. Why don't you provide dates for releases anymore? So we've learned through experience, and we will always provide updates and information. The challenge is giving specific dates. The reason is quite simple. Because we work with regulators, because we have external auditors, there's incidents in the market and in the industry. When those things happen, we need to refocus or shift our resources accordingly, because we will always work with regulators, tax authorities, both globally and in Japan. And that sucks a lot of our resources. So when those things happen, sometimes we cannot confirm on a date that we promised. So with those things, it's actually a big challenge for us, because we cannot manage and deliver on our expectations. What development can we expect to see this year regarding Quoine, partnerships, cash, etc., and what's planned for next year? So I've been spending a lot of time in the US, Europe, Asia, and Japan. And these are not just there for conferences or meetings. It's there for specific targeted partnership opportunities. So it's difficult to give an exact date, especially because, for example, partnerships is both sides, right? It's not only us, it's on the other side as well. So from a World Book partnership, from a exchange license partnership, banking relationship, distributed ledger, or liquid distributed ledger relationships, all of these things, we have a lot that we will love to share with you when the timing is right. Hopefully we can maybe update a couple of new initiatives by the end of the year, but a lot will be more towards March, spring of next year. But those will be around financing, investment, joint venture, partnership, all of these things. So we will definitely, you'll be the first one to know when we're ready to make those announcements. So please stay tuned. All right, the launch of Liquid, the internal World Book, was enabled for BTC, ETH, and BCH with fiat pairs. Do you already enable other pairs? If not, how will you proceed? So we're revamping our, I wouldn't say we're revamping, as part of our Liquid platform and our World Book. We are continuing to improve so that we can offer the liquidity World Book for other pairs. We're working on them. And first, we'll probably start with the stable coins, but then we'll increase into other cryptocurrencies and tokens. This I delegate and I wait for our Vincent, who's in charge of our liquidity and trading. I will wait for his guidance on when will be the right timing. My understanding is by later this year, we'll be gradually opening up to other pairs, starting with stable coins. So again, we will definitely let you know. And once those kick in, you'll see much more adoption and liquidity and multi-market orders among different cryptocurrency and fiat as well. Okay? All right. So what is the status of the external World Book? So I do want to make it clear, as part of our Liquid platform, external World Book is important, but equally or more important is the internal World Book, where there's multi-market orders, right? So a person coming from Singapore, putting a placement order on, for example, Bitcoin and SGD, will be able to trade with someone with Bitcoin JPY, right? So this is, and the next step will be, for example, Bitcoin Singapore dollars to trade with Ethereum USD. So having different, so it becomes crypto agnostic and fiat agnostic. This is all within the internal order book or internal world book. So that is something we're putting more emphasis on. Regarding the world book partners, we've already connected with 19 exchanges. But then the important thing is actually risk, right? What is the counterparty risk? So it's not about connecting with as many exchanges, it's connecting with the right exchanges. Ideally with exchanges that are regulated, that has a fiat solution. So actually when you think about it, there's only a handful. And we're already connected with most of them. We just don't make announcements. And the external world book is, for example, when you look at the hierarchy, it starts with the internal world book. And when necessary, we tap into our external world book partners. So that's how it works. And for the partners that we can disclose, we will disclose. For the other ones, when they say, hey, we're not comfortable or we prefer not to be disclosed, we don't do that. But already we're connected to 19 exchanges, of which a handful of those will be ones that we're already working with or we will work with in the future. Okay. Are any parties interested or launching on the LDL already? Answer is not yet, because we're still in development of our LDL. As I think I explained before, we will be the first customer working on the LDL as a service and a platform that will be launched on the LDL. And I think we're close to publishing our blog and our status, but our first service that we will build on top of the LDL is an STO platform, a securities token offering. We believe that our LDL is tailored towards the first application for security tokens, and I think that's something that will be very exciting, and we will make further publishments and announcement on that. And once we show that it works, that's when we'll start opening up. So I think a lot of the cases people create excitement and then under-deliver. I think it's better that we deliver. We are the first service to launch on it, and then we'll open up. Does the recent news of Japan approves self-regulation for its crypto industry, aka the JFSA giving more responsibility to the JVCEA, affect Quoine in any way? Will certain features on Liquid be pushed out faster because of this? This is a great question. Absolutely yes. So the JVCEA is on SRO. Right? So what are these acronyms? SRO stands for Self-Regulation Organization. Right? So the Japanese regulator, the Japan FSA, cannot go into each detail from an exchange perspective. Right? So that is going to be augmented by the SRO. So for example, what is the right leverage for margin trading? What are the tokens that should be listed? The government will not go into each detail, and that will be provided by the JVCEA. So one of the things that we believe which will accelerate is new listing of tokens. So once we have that, I believe that will start accelerating new listing of cryptocurrency and tokens in the Japanese platform, so in the Japanese environment. So we're absolutely excited. And this JVCEA was also registered as an official association under the Japanese regulation. So we're excited to work with JVCEA, and all the exchanges in Japan, including us, will be working very closely with them. Are there any plans to include more cryptos as collateral when margin trading? Of course. So we have Bitcoin, cash, and fiat. We will be expanding that into others as well. Probably stable coins and maybe Ethereum and others. We will definitely let you know when we can make those announcements. But it's absolutely in our plan. Next question. When Blockwave in Canada? Yeah, so Blockwave, obviously, North American market is important to us. I think I mentioned previously that we're looking into other partnerships as well. And that's not only Canada, but also the United States. As part of the initiative, Blockwave might be part of it, or we might look at Blockwave as a specific purpose company, such as mining. And so those are things we're all working on. Nick obviously leads our North America initiative, mostly Canada on, not mostly Canada, North America, BD, mining, and all those. And hopefully we can make an announcement by next spring. But mining is a tough business. Mining machine is a tough business. So when we go in, we need to do it the right way. Okay, does listing USDC and closer collaboration with Center and Circle means partnership with Coinbase and Goldman Sachs and potential listing of liquid token on Coinbase? Once again, it's a great question, right? So we have a great relationship partnership with Circle, always previously as well. And going forward, I think there'll be much more collaboration and partnership together. We believe Coinbase is one of the best run companies, exchanges in the world, pro-regulation, doing things the right way. And there's a lot of things that we can share, like knowledge share and partnerships. I think we are one of the few exchanges that will have those kind of relationship with Coinbase. Goldman, I think we have over 7 people in our company that are former who worked at Goldman. We have good relationship with their principal investment, their custody team. Again, these things take time, and it needs both sides to dance. But we do have continued dialogue with all of these partners. So please stay tuned. Next question. Does listing lots of stable coins means that external rulebook settlement between exchanges will be done with stable coins instead of both exchanges opening account in the same bank or even same branch and do T+1 settlement? Will Gemini settlement will be done with GUSD? I think the shift towards stable coins will allow that to happen. Obviously, with fiat exchanges, we bank in the same bank so that it could be done real day as well. So it doesn't have to be T+1. So all of these things, we believe technology and innovation allows us to provide better, faster, and cheaper services, and stable coins will definitely kickstart that. We're open to discussions, and we are having these ongoing discussions as well. Okay, what does creating a yen-based stablecoin bring to Quoine? Right, so we are working on a JPY stablecoin, and that's something that will be very helpful to not only our Japanese traders and customers, but our global as well. And once this, for example, whether you call this GJPY or JPYC or another stable coin, if this gets listed on other exchanges, obviously the customers and users and coiners will be able to move the stable side fast in real time as well. So I think there's lots of benefits to that, and we're excited to pursue that with credible partners. When will Cash be renamed to the liquid token? We believe the best timing, so we thought about it when we launch Liquid or the first year anniversary of our Cash token list, or whether we do it when we launch the Liquid distributed ledger. I think the best timing is when we launch the Liquid distributed ledger, so please be tuned. What are you going to do with the cash that is accrued as fee payment? Could you use a portion of the cash collected as fees to donate to the Liquid Foundation so they can acquire or seize startups, for example? So those are all good questions. The fees, so currently we don't collect as fees yet, but when we start collecting fees, we will use that to strengthen and open the ecosystem. Through the foundation as well, but also bringing in developers and dApps onto the platform, and to incentivize, we will use these cash tokens, right? So there's many ways, or we might do airdrops, promotions to our Quoine and Cash users. So there's many things we will be using it. The thing we will not do is we will not burn it, right? So burning these tokens and limiting these supplies could potentially be a little bit from a regulatory perspective be deemed as a security. So actually burning these tokens and creating appreciation could be deemed as a security, so we will not be doing those. Okay, Mike, how is Mike feeling about the future of crypto as a whole right now? This bear market took a hard hit on many, and the sentiment change was shown clearly in the cash subreddit, for example. Is Mike confident in the future of crypto and in the future of liquid still? Absolutely. So when I started this company almost 5 years ago, people told me Bitcoin was dead over 100 times. The Mt. Gox incident happened, the hack in Bitfinex, on Bitstamp, all the big ones happened. Each time people said crypto was dead. And obviously the incumbents, they all said that it's not scalable, or it's only a fad. But again, it's the 10-year anniversary of Satoshi white paper, and the long-term prospect, the intrinsic value, the opportunity. How I look at it is this way. Like, internet disrupted content. Internet disrupted commerce. Internet is disrupting things like IoT, Internet of Things. Now internet is disrupting value, money. So, and that is precisely cryptocurrency, right? So when you look at gold, gold has been around since 3,000 years before Christ, right? So it's 5,000 years, 6,000 years. Countries and nations and fiat tokens fiat has been around for hundreds of years. Cryptocurrency is only 10 years, right? It's a 10-year anniversary. When you look at the next decade, next 20 years, 30 years, the opportunity is immense. I'm never so bullish as I am today, right? And obviously, let's look at Bitcoin. Last year, it started at $1,000. It went up to 20,000. That's 20x. When you look at Ethereum, when you look at Ripple, it went up like a few hundred x. Obviously, when that happens, there's going to be a correction. So it's healthy. But for example, like Bitcoin today is $5,500, $6,000. It's still 6x from last January, right? So when you think about that, I cannot predict the price of Bitcoin or other cryptocurrency next week or next month or next year. But I know in another 3 to 5 years, it's going to be much more valuable than it is today. I still think, for example, Bitcoin is a much more superior form factor than gold, right? So from that perspective, I think the market cap of Bitcoin itself can be more than the market cap of gold. And then there's many other tokens as well. So it's unbelievably exciting times. And it's the right time to build your company, build your foundation. Because the faint of heart, the fads, they're not in it, right? So all the people who were interested in making quick money, they're not coming in. But people who believe in it, the fundamental intrinsic value has not changed at all. All right. So next question, will cash have real world utility, such as being able to be used as payments for goods and services? And when will there be cash utility? Again, right? It's all in our pipeline. So we have a full plan on our cash utility. And when we do that, I think the important thing is we need to set priorities. For example, as a corporate, under proper corporate law in Japan, we need to do auditing, right? So we have Deloitte. We're one of the few, maybe one of the only crypto exchanges that have Deloitte as our external auditor. So all these things, working with regulators, many things are prioritized over the utility. And for the cash utility, we want to do it right. Right? So rather than hastily launching and kind of pulling it back, I think it's important that we do it the right way. So there will be real world utility, absolutely. And we will take our time to provide value to our cash token holders. Okay, when will Liquid introduce trading fees? So we're working on that as well. It's kind of ironic and interesting because I think if you are a trader, you don't want fees. Right? So even when you look at our platform right now, we might not be charging fees, and we have the tightest spread. So fee adjusted, we're the lowest globally, right? And that allows our users to, especially if you want to buy or sell or trade, we provide the best trading environment in the world, right? So there's a trade-off between introducing fees and keeping the fees free. So we're structuring our cash utility and the fee structure where if you own a certain amount of cash, not only do you get discount, but for example, we might allow you to waive the fee. So all these things we're working on, and we will be introducing trading fees. Again, I won't give a date yet, but within this year, I think we will be launching with trading fees. Okay, but we might push back again, but it will be coming. Okay, can you please provide additional thoughts on the role that Cash LDL will have in enabling the liquid ecosystem? Specifically on the selection of the governing foundation, Quoine's ownership and sale of cash tokens, and settlement. So I think I've explained before, the important thing is to launch our liquid distributed ledger with real application, real use case. We believe that is a security token offering, and that is something we're working on. The STO platform cannot work unless we also have a license. So that is going on parallel, right? So we can make an announcement, but if we cannot use it, it doesn't make sense. So there's always the regulatory side, the legal side that we work on, in addition to the platform and the services that we offer. So we already have an ICO mission control, and for us, there's going to be a security token, STO mission control. That's all going to be part of the liquid platform. And for that STO, it's going to be built on our LDL. But in order to offer that to the users, we need the license side. So all these things we're working together. And only after that, we'll be thinking about how we structure the foundation. When will we move the residing tokens? So all these things will take time. All right. Another page and a half to go. So have you considered working closely with EU regulators and the fintech department's commissions? The EU is quickly ramping up their fintech efforts and also focusing on blockchain, yet no exchange seems to take this step. So it's an interesting question because my understanding is there's many credible exchanges in the UK or EU, Bitstamp, Coinbase, trading platforms like eToro. There's a fair amount out of Malta. Again, I believe for crypto to go mainstream, the regulation needs to be driven by the G7 countries, right? Whether that's UK, France, Germany. That is absolutely important. Nothing against Malta or any other jurisdiction, but I think it needs to be led by these global economic powerhouses. And there is a reason why I've been traveling to Europe 2 times in the last 3 months, right? So we know people at FINMA. Again, FINMA is Switzerland, so it's not EU, but we're looking at that market as well. But as a startup, we need to focus on what we do, right? So when we really go into Europe, we'll probably work with a partner there. Do you plan on speaking at events or on big platforms directly about Liquid now? I've seen you speak at big panels, but mostly only about crypto rather than mentioning Liquid. Will you start to mention Liquid more? What's the next step here for getting Liquid known by more people around the world? So let's take a step back. We launched Liquid, I think it was 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago, right? So that's only it. And it takes time, right, to build a brand and creating awareness, and then people recognizing Liquid as the preferred platform. But when you look at, for example, when you look at all these transaction volume sites, and when you look at crypto fiat pairs, especially in Bitcoin, we're always, on any given day, we're always top 3, top 5. When you look at today, obviously there was a big correction on the pricing, but we're way up there, right? So from that perspective, I think in the crypto industry, people know us. Outside, we're not a household name. The reason also is because we don't have presence in the US. We don't have presence in Europe. Those are all going to be part of my priority for the next coming year. In conferences, especially the bigger conferences, they don't want like a panelist or a speaker to like kind of self-promote their own platform or service. What they want to know is what's happening in the greater ecosystem, in the industry, what are some of the challenges. So those are things that I want to share with the audience and the panelists together. We will have separate times if I can promote Liquid. But for example, when I go on like CNBC, it's talking about the entire the ecosystem. That's what the audiences are interested about. I might sprinkle a few words of Liquid, or I might be wearing my Liquid t-shirt as today, but I think that will be the extent that I'll be talking specifically about Liquid, unless the program is more around our own services. All right, Coinbase has been successful in gaining UK and US banking licenses. So we know it's doable. How's progress with UK and US banking licenses so Liquid can be direct fiat crypto for UK and US residents? So my understanding is Coinbase doesn't have a banking license. They have a broker-dealer license, they have a alternative trading system license, and BIT license, FinCEN, money transmitter license, but not a banking license. But they have great relationship with banks. We do as well. That said, in our white paper roadmap, we do aspire to get a banking license or acquire a bank, and that's part of our roadmap. So these things do take time, and there's a reason I go to Europe. So there's all these things that we are working on. But absolutely, if and when crypto goes mainstream, it will need to be working alongside banks and fiat currencies. So it's exciting time. I think we have an unfair advantage because we've always been a crypto fiat exchange. Okay, how does Quoine or the LDL, the Liquid Distributed Ledger Foundation, attract and keep developers, thus creating adoption of the platform and driving users to use it? Vitalik recently said he wants 1 million developers building on Ethereum in 2019. Are there plans in place to incentivize developers for the LDL? So again, it's a great question. I don't look at quantity, I look at quality, right? And also our Liquid Distributed Ledger is focused on the fintech industry. We're not trying to be a generic blockchain. We're not there for like game developers or social media or content to use our platform. Because we know the pain point as a fintech company, we know what are the features, what are the things that should be part of the our Liquid Distributed Ledger. So we eat our own dog food, right? So that's how we look at it. Rather than getting 1 million developers, I would like to get 100,000 fintech companies. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur and if you want to build your platform on cloud and blockchain, we want you to look at us as the preferred platform to work on. And I think that's how it goes. So when you look at Amazon AWS, again, that's not a blockchain company, but they were doing cloud services themselves. So all the technology was based on their usage. And once they knew that they had the right product, they scaled it. They offered it to third party. That's how we look at it. So we build our LDL platform, our STO services on top of it. Obviously, we need to get that license. And once we know that it's working and it's scalable, that's when we open up, right? So all these things, we take that approach right now. Obviously, we might change or be flexible in the future, but it's a little different from Ethereum or other next generation Ethereum that wants to provide everything to all. We want to focus on what we're good on, and that's for the fintech industry. And it's not for existing banks or incumbents either. They prefer private blockchain, and there's a lot of companies who want to address that market, but that's not us. All right, what are you looking forward to in the crypto world that you think will take us to the next level? Any key event or specific thing? It's very simple. It's regulation, right? So I look at regulation not as an option or not as a nice to have or a bolt on. It's hygiene. It's a necessity. It's no longer an option. If you are managing billions of customers' assets, whether it's fiat or crypto, regulators, tax authorities, they'll never let you go. When we talked to Japanese regulators, they said, hey, Mike-san, Quoine and Liquid is bigger than some smaller banks, right? Or online security companies. That means it's going to be regulated. Like it or not, it's going to be regulated. And especially when crypto goes from cryptocurrency to utility tokens to security tokens, the progression is actually that it's becoming more regulated. So we've always looked at crypto and blockchain as an intersection of mainstream regulation and open financial systems. So that's how our approach is. So from day one, we work with regulators. From day one, we work with auditors. And that will allow us to expand our platform into security token offerings, while a lot of the other exchanges who never really looked at regulation as their top priority will have difficulty, especially when the token economy goes into securities. So I look at regulation as something that will be the key event, especially economic global powerhouses, the G7s. When they start leading the crypto industry, that will allow mainstream adoption. And some people say ETFs, right? But ETFs is also part of regulation, right? So when I look at the one single driver in order to make crypto mainstream, it's always going to be regulation. All right. What is preventing you from having some of the biggest market cap coins on your exchange? Nothing. It's just about priority and resources. We want to be on a platform that is open, right? So we would love to have the large cap tokens as well, but we would love to have the emerging token issuers on our platform as well, right? Every large company, every large market cap starts small. There's always a beginning. We would love to be the platform for the first exchange to be the platform to offer these tokens. So obviously we'll have the top 20, top 30 large cap tokens, but we would love to be the preferred choice for the up and coming token issuers as well. And that leads to my last question. Mike, I just wanted to ask, what's your perfect Sunday? So my perfect Sunday is spending time with my family, especially my daughter. I have a newborn, 14 months. I'm not going to disclose his name, but that allows me to drive, driven, and be passionate about my business because I'm able to spend time with my family, right? Family always comes first. I have a wife that is very understanding. I love my wife and I love my family. So that makes me keeps me going and allows me to drive and passionate about the crypto industry because I have a family that supports me. So that's it. Thank you so much, guys. And next time I'll do a real-time AMA. So until then, bye-bye.